New this morning, Iraq's prime minister says the country's security forces have been tested and they are ready to take over from U.S. forces. This announcement coming a day after President Obama revealed his plan to pull nearly 100,000 U.S. forces out of Iraq by the end of next summer. This announcement is being welcomed by scores of military families whose loved ones have fought and died in Iraq. And joining me now is Dante Zappala, a member of the group Gold Star Family Speak Out. His brother, Sergeant Sherwood Baker, was killed in Iraq in April 2004. And I want to say good morning to you, and we're sorry for your loss.
Well, thank you.
What is your reaction to President Obama announcing he wants this withdrawal of, ballpark figure about 2/3 of the troops?
Yeah, I think it's a tempered reaction. I think it's long overdue that we have the leadership that says it's time for the war to end and this is how it's going to happen.
Yeah. Some critics say, though, setting a timeline is not the right approach to do this. And there are those who would suggest that if this happens and then the war in Iraq turns for a more precipitous turn, soldiers like your brother will have died in vain. What do you say?
Absolutely not. Nobody could ever tell me that my brother died in vain. My brother took an oath, he upheld that oath, and he went to serve his country. He did his job. It's the politician's job to implement this timeline and get the troops home. They've done everything that's been asked of them and then some, and I believe it's time for them to come home.
I'm sure, though, that your brother communicated with you and throughout his experience in Iraq, and you said he took an oath. He was over there because he believed in something and wanted to make a situation better. Once the U.S. troops pull out, Dante, if things go bad, do you think your brother, were he to be alive today, would say, we got to get back in there and keep working, got to get this thing fixed? Is that the mentality you find of many people that are still on the ground?
I think it's the nature of a soldier, obviously, to have that mindset. But again, their jobs and their roles are very specific, and I believe that the role of the president and the commanders is to implement what the president wants, which is to bring the troops home, and it's untenable for us to continue on in a combat role there.
I know you wrote a very moving column in the Huffington Post last May, and I'd love for you to share just a little bit with our viewers about your brother. Yeah,
my brother was great. People obviously recognize him as a hero now, but I knew long ago that he was a hero. He was a great father and a great big brother. He's dearly missed.
Talk about some of the things that he's missed when you miss him most these days.
Yeah, well, I've had 2 children since my brother passed, and not being able to share that with him. Our father died just about 6 months ago, and my father was very poignant and made some really great comments about my brother that I think resonate. He said that Sherwood was his role model. He said usually it's the other way around, that people look up to their fathers, but he said that his son was his role model. But not having Sherwood there to go through that with him was very difficult. Absolutely.
You get through every day. You wake up, you do your thing, you go to bed every night, but it's different now, right?
Yeah, it certainly is. And what I really hope is that the lesson that we learn from the Iraq War is that we never again send our soldiers to a war based on lies, and that if Sherwood's death, because he was looking for weapons of mass destruction literally when he died, if that can be a point, and I believe the president gets that when we send our troops, it's for the most noble reasons, and we uphold their commitment and their sacrifice and their willingness to sacrifice by making sure that the cause is noble and just.
You say your brother was your hero. I'm sure you would be his today in this position. Dante Zappala, thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex.
Severe weather hits the Deep South with fury. It is breaking news we're following for you. We'll have the latest from the Weather Channel next here on MSNBC Saturday.